sixth seeded New York Knicks. First half of not really the first half of the season.
But we're kind of calling it that.
We're calling it that. We're heading to the All-Star break and we're a good team.
Take note.
Big Beach.
We're here.
My man, Alex.
It's different this time.
What's up, guys?
Go!
Knicks blow out Atlanta. When was the last time you heard the Knicks blowing out anyone? It sounds weird.
That's who we
coming out
are,
of my
baby!
tongue. It sounds weird coming out of my mouth.
Let me get my
Oh
Knicks
my
cup.
goodness.
I'm all branded up tonight.
How happy are we with this team right now? You mentioned earlier tonight this is one of the best Knicks teams that you have witnessed. And I think you solidly believe that.
Yeah. Like teams as yep.
The team, that's been happening for a while now, has been gelling together. They've been playing together for a while now. That's one of the things I always talk about. You can't keep changing up the team. Unless you're bringing in a real point guard like Jalen Brunson that we were missing for so long. And now his best buddy Josh Hart, who's so far, I know it's a very short sampling of games we've seen from him, but wow, he's fit in seamlessly with the rest of these guys.
Yeah.
I am loving what I'm seeing with this team. I cannot wait for Mitchell Robinson to come back, and I cannot wait to see them play after this All-Star break.
You summed it up, and I'm glad you brought up Mitch because, when Mitch goes down, we've seen all season, after Tibbs cut down the rotation, we're making progress, things are looking good. Mitch goes down, not looking great, but looking decent. Mitch goes down, and I start to feel like, oh no. This team we see how many offensive rebounds we give up late, how many games late where we just couldn't get the board and finish the game off. Mitch was huge for that, right? Mitch goes down, and I'm thinking, at that point too, Hartenstein's not even playing well.
Right.
So you're feeling like, what are we going to do? Of course, we had faith in Jericho, but Jericho's still, even though he's a little older than you think, I think he's 24, he's still a kid. He has not that much experience.
He looks like 16.
He's like 16, right? But regardless, we're getting through this Mitch stretch brilliantly. Mitch should be back after the break, they said. He did some contact practice today. So things are stepping up, and you're seeing this team. We're mid-season, really, like we said, 6th seed, right? And we're closing in. The Nets beat the Heat tonight. We have to play the Heat 3 times.
That's going to be rough.
It's going to be rough, but I'm not, getting to this point where we talk about that's going to be rough. I'm like, is it? Because at this point, I've watched this team this entire season. And yes, there's criticisms here and there. There's things with the rotation we didn't love. You're going to have to talk about RJ, right? There's some things there we need to talk about. But if you look at the team on a whole, we've been in every game. We've given up leads late. I meant to say that as well. We've given up leads late, which has also been really annoying. But we've been in every game. We have not, there's no point in the season where you're like, oh my God, the Knicks are garbage, look at them.
So we've been in every game. A lot of games we start off really hot, and I always hate when we start with these big leads.
PTSD.
The only reason that I hate when we start with these big leads is because I've always watched it crumble and fall apart in the third quarter, or even in the fourth quarter sometimes. So we've always needed the team that can play the full 48 minutes and play down that stretch to keep that lead.
Yep.
And tonight and the last game, there's that little sweet point, right? When there's 7 minutes left in the quarter, when the other team could very well go on
Make
a run.
that run, yeah.
Right? They could go on that run. They got it down to 11 points tonight. And when what happens is when the other team gets it down to 11 points, their fans, especially if we're playing in their arena, they get some excitement because now they're saying oh, okay, we got it we closed that gap down so much so we can continue. And that's, to me, when I see Jalen Brunson step up.
Every time.
And he makes
He's
sure.
so clutch.
And actually, just remembering from last season, Quickly was the one doing that.
Quickly, it's funny, not this year as much, right? Quickly's improved in a bunch of other things. Quickly used to be the timely bucket guy.
Yes.
Thing is, Quickly, so I'm glad you brought that up because you can see Quickly filling in that role as best he can, and now you substitute that for, and Derrick Rose as well, right? Derrick Rose, clutch, fourth quarter guy, always coming on late, and these guys would have their moments here and there. Then you get someone like Jalen Brunson, who's pretty much consistent with having these moments.
Solid, man. What a
he's
solid
so good.
guy.
I can't even say solid beyond.
Solid. He's solid. His neck is solid. His whole body is solid.
Is good.
I am not understanding how he has taken the licks and the beating that he is taking on the court
the whole season
and being just like this. Getting hit and barely flinching. I almost feel he could flinch some more and do some more LeBron flopping and get some more fouls because It doesn't because of his stature. It doesn't seem like he should be able to take those kind of blows, but he does, and he stands strong. And so because of that, maybe he doesn't get that call. But you said he's very good with the offensive calls.
He's crafty.
Offensive foul calls that he gets, and he gets to the line.
He's crafty. He's a smart player. This is the thing with a guy like Jalen Brunson, what he just brings to the team beyond just his skill, his scoring, his ability to lead. You can see how the team looks up to him. Every post-game interview with Jalen Brunson is some random stuff happening. You know, RJ coming through. Yeah, him and Josh Hart the other day. The team loves him. They're gravitating around him. But he does so many different things during the game at crucial moments that change his games, right? There are games where we're getting, in the past, big run, 10-0 run, 12-0 run. We can't score. We can't score for this many minutes. Now, we get a guy like Jalen Brunson who, and I told you this during the game, if you give Jalen Brunson 3 possessions in a row, I feel like either he's scoring for sure on one of them, or something else is happening, or someone's getting fouled, or we're getting an open 3. He makes things happen, but he does it at the right time. He's not one of these guys that are trying to get points for points' sake.
Right.
All his points matter. His points are important. He is so good. He's better than Trae Young.
Yes, he is.
He's better than Trae Young.
Yes, he is.
And I'm so pissed he's not an all-star. I don't think DeRozan should be there. I love DeMar DeRozan. I don't think he should be there. The Bulls have been terrible this year. It sucks he's not voted in. We're going to see there's some maybe injury replacements, but I have a feeling, he's not going to be there this year. But he's played like it, and at the beginning of 2023, if you just look at the time period from there, he's averaging basically 29 points per game. He is playing like a superstar. And I'll say this, because people are like, oh, Brunson's on a hot streak since he got snubbed for the All-Star game.
No.
Here's the thing. He's obviously playing better now than before, but I brought this up. This is, I believe, his 56th game in New York, right?
Okay.
He just got here. Mm-hmm. Even at the beginning of the season, when we're like, yo, Jalen Brunson's really good. Like, we knew he was going to be good. Yeah. Right? Yo, Jalen Brunson's even better than we thought. He was still learning the team. Like, we were still not even close to chemistry.
Yes.
We're not even a season in. Yeah. And tell me the team doesn't feel like, we know we added him to what we had before.
Right.
But it feels like everybody has a really good idea of where they, most players have an idea of where they need to be, what needs to happen. So he's only 56 games in. There's no telling that this level of Jalen Brunson right now might be him.
Right.
What if next year is better? What if Jalen Brunson is a legit number 1 option? I know I'm sounding crazy right now, guys. What if Jalen Brunson is a legit potential number 1 option? If you give him enough defense around him, enough length and all that stuff.
He's like the sleeper pick.
You never know, because what he's showing us right now, right? And if you just judge him on what you're seeing on the court, look at Trae Young. Trae Young got a bigger name. People know Trae Young. You watch them on the court tonight. Who looked like the better player? Who's been the better player of the season? Listen, Trae Young is racking up assists. I'm not hating on Trae. I mean, Trae Young, as we know. But I'm not hating on him. But I'm just acknowledging what Jalen Brunson is doing out there.
Yeah, man. He scored 28 points tonight, and I think, and he's consistently, I can't think, scoring like around that number.
That's what I'm saying. 29 points per game, basically since 2023. And the thing is, that's 6-7 weeks now. So this is not just a couple games.
Right.
Sample size is big, and this is one of the toughest parts of our schedule. We're playing only good teams.
Right. We are only playing good
teams.
So.
I'm blown away.
And let's talk about Julius Randle, who has not disappointed us this season. I know he still has his little moody ways. We know he's meditating. I think that you can use your anger sometimes in the right direction, right? Use it to play hard. Use it to play hard. Use it to play some bully ball. Use it to get to the rim. All of that stuff. He has to be careful when he's talking to the refs to not let that emotion come out too much. But he's been solid for us this season. I'm impressed.
Listen, I'll give Julius Randle his props yet again. Odd year Randle, as we know, every other year Randle's gonna be incredible. But again, he's someone who's growing. He's getting older. He's getting more mature. Not to say that when we judged him in the past that it was too soon, because this is the NBA. It's a high standard overall. But there have been improvements in his game and his approach. Now you compare this to his season a couple of years ago, where he was, what was he? We were the 4th seed. My cat is trying to come in. Cat Ewing.
That's Cat Ewing, by the way.
Where's my cat? Let him in. Cat Ewing, come in. Come in. Come join the show. Now he's shy. All right. So he when you compare what he did a couple of years ago, when he has this incredible season out of nowhere, and it feels the fans aren't there. That's one thing I want to talk about. There's a lot of conversation about Randle being good because the fans weren't there. Well, guess what? The fans are there every game tonight, and my boy is showing out. I gotta give him credit because he's been through so much with the New York fans, the media. A lot of it his fault. I'm not gonna say he's some saint, but he's fought through so much, and it really feels like a Knick. And he drives us. He has so much energy. I'm so happy he's going to his second All-Star game. He's passing this year.
Right.
I just have to say, Julius Randle, I'm giving you your props. And you can see the city's behind him again. And last thing, I'm talking a lot here. Last thing, we were worried about him adjusting to Jalen Brunson being the number one
my
guy.
goodness. Jalen Brunson has literally brought out the best side of Julius Randle. He's brought, like, definitely he wants to share the ball. He definitely, what I was afraid of is Julius feeling like, well, this is his team, and now this guy's coming and kind of stepping on his toes.
Yep.
And that didn't happen at all. That also has a lot to do with Jalen Brunson and the type of person he is.
Yep.
And how he came into the team. Even though he is a leader, they talk about it all the time, that he's like the leader and they follow him. Julius is okay with that. So, they definitely have meshed together in a good way. Every now and again, just to say this, Julius does make some sloppy plays.
Oh, I mean, come on.
Every now and again, he has butterfingers where the ball is just slipping.
And
he gives us that reminiscent of that, going around. But overall, I think that he's showed up this season, given us what we want to see on the court. And I'm happy. I'm happy with him.
Happy with him. Role players showing up. Let's talk about the role players a little bit because we got to get to someone before we finish. Quentin Grimes, Emmanuel Quickly, step it up. Obviously, Quickly's taken a real leap this year. When Quickly came into the league, good shooter. So you're thinking of him as like, really as a shooter. Quick, fast, whatever. But now you're watching him and his shooting can take some improvement actually. I think even though he's technically a good shooter, as in like his process is good. He lines up well. He has good form. I don't think he hits as many threes as he should sometimes. Okay. But his overall play, his defense this year, he's been one of the best defensive guards in the league. He's looking like Drew Holiday out there. He's playing with infectious energy. He keeps leading us off the bench. And I really feel like this year we really saw him take a serious step. Right? Yeah. RJ was injured earlier in the season, so Quickly had to start. Right. And then from then, even though he's back on the bench now, I trust Quickly in there. And a lot of games when it gets late, I want to see Quickly and Brunson together. And, it depends on the matchup, right? It changes from game to game. But every time I'm seeing Quickly this season, I'm loving what I'm seeing. This is the progression we want to see. I hope Quickly is the Knick for a long time. I know we're going to have to make a trade. I don't want Quickly to be part of that trade when we eventually
Obi can go. Not that we don't like Obi, but it does not make any sense for Obi to be playing with us. He was a number 8 pick.
Yeah.
If anything, he was supposed to take over from Randle, which obviously at this point now we don't want to see that.
Well, it doesn't even. I mean,
doesn't make any sense.
He hasn't shown.
And even for him as a player, does he want to really just come off the bench? Does he want to be a secondary player? No, he wants to play and start for a team, right?
He's 24.
He wants to start for a team. So as much as I think he loves playing in the Garden, who doesn't love playing in the Garden? He loves being a dynamic player, dunking. I think that it is probably time to package him up in a trade with some other folks. RJ Barrett has not taken the step, that same step you just spoke about Quickly. RJ Barrett has not taken that step. RJ Barrett was a number 3 pick. I forget that. I forget that all the time. It doesn't, and I said this a couple of days ago to myself, I don't know if I said it to you, but I was wondering if there was something else going with him off the court. You mentioned to me today that him and his girlfriend broke up. That could be affecting it. I don't know.
I heard rumors on Twitter.
But I would say this. He's a professional basketball player. Typically, when things are going on off court, like that sort of stuff, relationship stuff, not like death or something, right? You kind of are able to take it out on the court in a way, or be able to channel it on the court. So, I don't know, because... he had a decent game tonight.
But even then he didn't shoot well.
He scored 17 points tonight, but he's on again, off again. He's hot on court. He's not dependable. He's not that guy that you want. He's not the guy for me right now that I'm like, I want him on the court. Brunson, I want on the court. Josh Hart, I want on the court. Grimes, even, I want on the court. Quickly. Randle.
Yeah, damn.
RJ Barrett is not a guy that I'm like, actually, I've been saying the opposite. I'm like, take him
Listen, we were at the game, the Brooklyn game, and I see RJ getting ready to come off the bench, and I'm like, yo, mom, RJ's coming back in. And you said, for what? And you know what? I have to say this. I think, just so people get it straight, it really pains us to say any of this stuff. I want even with Brunson here now, obviously, we're happy with Brunson. We want to see what he does. I want RJ to be the guy. I'm like, I would love, even if RJ isn't the guy.
He said, yo, I'm a Knick.
Right?
Like, we want him, we want to see him do well.
I want RJ to earn the contract. When we paid RJ this last summer, a lot of criticism across the league. I was defending RJ. I said, listen, if RJ does live up to, if RJ plays like he should and progresses like he should, that contract will not be a bad contract. Unfortunately, when his money kicks in next year, this gets really, because he's still on the last year that, he's still on that rookie thing. Once we transfer to his new contract, and he's getting what, close to $30 million
too
a year.
And giving us what?
Yeah.
You can't get $30 million and not give us like what you're giving us.
Yeah, that's the worry, with RJ, just like what he's going to be making and what he's going to be giving us. Now, I'll just say this: he started the season really poorly and then played really well, got hurt, and then since then hasn't really gotten his rhythm. So I really want to see, because post All-Star break RJ Barrett has been a thing. It's been consistently a thing for the Knicks. Usually, post All-Star break means we're not doing anything important. That said, this year is going to be different. I'm hoping this All-Star break allows him time. It's a decent amount of time off. He's not doing anything for All-Star break. No, but it's in the NBA. That's a month.
Is he going to Tarrytown Club?
It's not where he's going.
Is he going to Tarrytown Club with Tibbs?
He doesn't need a coach. No, I don't.
Club Tarrytown.
My thing is, I don't think RJ needs. I think RJ actually needs to completely detach from basketball. Spend a week. The NBA season. It's tough. It's grueling. It's long, right? Mm-hmm. You got games. You got 3, 4, 5 games every week, right? Like that's what I'm saying. 1 week of no basketball is good. Let him get some time off, refresh, come back up from the All-Star break. I think RJ's also been struggling, trying to find his role exactly where he fits now with Brunson and Randle. In the past he was kind of the second option all the time.
And now he's
really the he's the third, but sometimes he looks like the fourth.
Now he's what option?
He's something. But you see what Josh Hart is bringing. Let's talk about Josh Hart now. Josh Hart comes in and he's giving you so much. He's giving you energy, athleticism. He's up and down the court. He's got the vibes, the energy. He's hitting threes, and you kind of end up comparing them. Obviously, Josh Hart's quite a bit older,
right.
But right now, I see Josh Hart potentially closing a lot of games and RJ maybe being on the bench, because I can see Josh Hart just being more effective.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You see that chemistry with him and Brunson. What do you mean? What do you feel about Josh Hart right now?
Love him so far. Love him. He almost feels like Brunson time, like Brunson squared, right? Like another. He almost feels like another extension of Brunson, because he plays very similar to him in that aggressive manner. Or I guess their connection as well. So
you can see that they know each other so well.
Their connection has definitely made his. Sorry about that, guys. His connection has definitely made his addition to the team seamless as well, because they have that connection with each other. So it's almost like he said, "Oh, my twin brother's coming to play with us. All right, cool. Yeah, you can come and play. He's just like you." I get that.
And in very different ways. Like they have the same demeanor. They're hard workers. Like Josh Hart is not the offensive player Jalen Brunson is, but he's a much better defender. They both play with energy. Josh Hart makes clutch plays. You saw in his first couple games at the Garden. He's just making things happen late when you need it. Those are the kind of players that win you close games.
Yes.
Which is why I really predict that we're not going to be dropping these leads anymore.
Right.
Because you have a guy like Josh Hart who, when he comes in with a second unit, in that last period, right, between the end of the third, beginning of the fourth, when the bench guys usually get their last minutes before the starters come back in. A lot of times it's around then we start to lose those leads, right?
Yep.
Josh Hart is going to make sure even if we lose the lead, it's not going to get that bad.
Yeah.
So, and then Mitch comes back after the break.
Yes.
I think we're 33-27. I really, really want us to get up to that 5th seed, guys. I don't know if
I know, I want us to be solid. I want us to be solid.
Yeah.
I do not.
No, we're not going to play. Don't do that.
I do not at all
that would be
want us in the play-ins. That would just be too much.
Yep.
And for me, the way that we've been playing,
we should
even more so when we got into the playoffs 2 years ago as the 4th seed, where we were okay and we got lucky because the rest of the East Coast wasn't that great.
Not good.
Right now, the East Coast is great, but we have a great team too.
We're good.
We're great too.
Yeah.
People don't want to come and play us, so to me, we need to solidly get into a playoff slot. And then go to playoff games.
I go to playoff games, baby. Let's not jump the gun. Knicks, they have the 6th hardest schedule remaining. So they would have to do what they've done all season, which is continue to beat teams, or at least compete with teams that are better than them. I think we're in this case right now where Brunson, for sure, you don't know how to evaluate him. Like the league looks at him one way, but his actual player on the court is a better player than the people think he is.
Yes.
Whereas the Knicks, on the other side, I think are a better team than teams think we are. Right. Even the fans, even us.
Okay.
I still think a lot of us, Kat's leaving the room. I think a lot of us watch these games still kind of expecting Knicks things to happen. And yes, sometimes they do.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
But you're seeing a team and a franchise that's taking a step forward. I'm so excited for the rest of the season. Keep it up. Keep playing hard. This is Knick basketball. And Knick fans, listen, I know we complain and argue and talk about a lot of stuff, but really enjoy this. This is a very good team.
We're watching. So typically we're watching the games and then we're like, and we're like upset and we're vexed. Sometimes, because there's a lot of games happen each week, right? Sometimes I want to watch the game and then I don't want to watch the game because I'm like, great, I'm going to spend 2 hours of my evening, right, where I could be doing something else, watching the game, and then we're going to lose. I call my daughter and she's like, oh, did the Knicks win? I'm like, no, they lost. She's like, oh, typical. Oh, figures. Oh, yeah.
The narrative's changing.
So now, obviously, when we win, we feel happy. Obviously, not just when we win, when we're playing really well, when we're playing hard, when we're watching these guys and we're really happy with the team.
How about this? This is what I was going to say. You can win games in however way, right? We really like this team, and you like almost everyone on it. Think about it.
Yep.
You watch the team, the way we're playing. I love how we're playing. I do think the offense needs a little bit of work. Too much ISO sometimes. A lot of times it's just Brunson do something crazy, Randle do something crazy. If any of you get the scraps, then do something.
Right.
I do think there's more development needed to have there. I do think, like you mentioned with RJ, we're not getting everything we need from RJ, especially on the defensive end. I don't care if RJ's not scoring that much, but if he's not scoring that much, he needs to be helping out so much more in defense and rebound.
There was a call, not a call. Tonight where the Hawks had the ball and they were coming back up court, and he had his arm out.
He was just not
like as if he was asking, "Hey, throw the ball." I'm like, does he know what team he's playing on? And he seemed to be like, it felt like he was like cluelessly just in the middle of the court.
Even trying to block the pass, like he was trying to block the passing lane so he wouldn't get it to him, but to DeAndre Hunter on the break. But he still wasn't aware, and then he had a bad closeout on Bogdanovich right after that. Sometimes with RJ, it's just effort and focus. And we want this guy to be great. So RJ, please get it together after the break.
Step it up.
Join the team. Let's ride off to the playoffs. But Knicks, very happy with the season so far. Some ups and downs, but way more ups and downs.
And we are back, like legit for real back. So after this All-Star Week break, we will be taping a lot more often.
100%. Peace, y'all. See you guys next time.